Welcome back to Firmament. The last episode we learned about ice blocks and how you can build a bridge with a claw. And then we climbed up this mountain. No, that was this episode. And then we saw this cool thing. And I want to keep going because, like, obviously this does something. And I don't want to do something yet. I want to make sure I have a chance to explore everything first. But clearly this is what I'm supposed to do. So let's just open the conveyance pod. Destination. Energize. Begin. I don't know what energize does. Oh. It energizes. Yeah. Oh. Oh, I energized the pod. I see. Hello? Personal maintenance adjunct. This is the same book as before. It's less pages. It's the easy version. It's the Reader's Digest. Welcome to the Swan. You've earned the honor of resting. Yes. You require cycles of rest, as do all living things. Like a person. Recharge for your purpose of keeping the realms. Rest, but don't focus on the rest. Don't concern yourself with dreams. Dreams are not trustworthy, rational, or measurable. Oh, wait, that sounds... Hold on. Don't trust yourself. You're a keeper. Rest is vital. Okay, that's starting to sound a little suspicious. I don't have my, hello? Ah, there it is. The Swan. Open. I don't want to go anywhere yet. Just want to try to understand this. Juleston Reservoir. I canceled. I don't know what cancel does, but it got mad at me. Oh my gosh, there's so much. It's so beautiful, but there's so much. I'm pretty sure that's gonna trip somebody. I don't know. Maybe people with fancy carpets have carpets that are special that can go on the stairs and not trip you. Those are playing cards with the logo of this. We're gonna call it a company. It's probably not a company. Well, they probably would not call themselves company. Probably we're an organization. We're a group. Blueprints, tools, cards, music. An instrument? No, some sort of device. Some unsettling observatory. I don't believe it's supposed to be unsettling, so it's probably fine. Little walkway so you can look out and see all your friends. giant, it's called something other than a logo when it's kind of built out and placed on the wall. These must be rooms for the keeper, or the keepers, of which I am one. It looks pretty cozy. I can assume this is my room? Okay, let's read together. I have no one to share my agony with, and so I write. Words. How many have I learned, and even with such new ways to describe my feelings, I do not have any of the words left to express my sadness, my anger, my... How? How did it all come to pass? The truth, unbearable, the void. So boundless, so cold, so dark. I am struggling, grasping for an understanding, comprehension. I don't know what that word is. Turner? Turner, a dark power, a monster, even he, yeah, it's a name. Only a tool in such a dark objective and plan. How could such darkness be handed such power? Did he seek it? Did it seek him? Does it always seek such servants? Was I a servant myself? I think that's servant. It might be servant or some other word I don't know. Am I like him? Were we all the keepers? Of what? Oh, so this journal, I think from the lady that we replaced, because I'm assuming they just would reuse the room. I'm her replacement. So I'm going to think this is written by her. We were naive souls, nourished by lies and then by his own dark power. How could he? How could I? I saved them. I lost them. I was compelled. But what now? What of me, trapped, solitary? The burden of knowledge and deception steals my joy and my breath. My heart turns inside of my chest. An emptiness of time stretches out before me, and there's only me left to fill this time. The loneliness. How does a human live with it? The truth, the lies, the confusion. How does a human know? I am adrift, floating to nowhere in my own agony. Is there hope? Will this plan save us? Can I save myself? I wish to rid myself of such beautiful deceit. But I wonder if such a desire is even possible. So, maybe, perhaps, once a keeper starts to ask too many questions, once a keeper decides, I'm not going to blindly follow my quest, maybe that's when the replacement happens. The Keeper's Poem. Observe the firmament above. Our walking lights shine bright, our comrades in the tapestry. A wondrous, restful sight. The lights, the lights, the lights of wake, alive above our head. The dark, the dark, the dark of sleep, deep sleep we do not dread. The vault is ours to contemplate, a canvas of our lights. An ever, I don't know that word, coruscating web, the hallmark of our nights. The Keeper's Parable. In other realms we cannot reach, there were other keepers who lived and worked together in happiness and harmony. The keepers contributed to the firmament mission and to the common good, and they shared happily the fruits of their labor. One day a keeper awoke from the deep sleep with a new idea, a different idea, a troublesome idea. This troublesome keeper decided there could be a different way of doing things, a way he called more. This troublesome keeper tried to convince the other keepers that they could work for their own benefit rather than for the good of all. This troublesome keeper said that he could accumulate more, and having more could make them happier. Oh, this is good. At first, the keepers were skeptical. Like all keepers before, they lived with reason and measurement, and they knew such a way of more seemed against reason and measurement. They asked where more would come from, and how long it could continue. The troublesome keeper provided ridiculous answers, claiming that more could come from everywhere, and would last forever. They laughed, but the troublesome keeper persisted. The persistence of the troublesome keeper wore down their thoughts of reason and measurement, and they became tempted by the promise of more. Gradually, the keepers embraced the idea of more. Their focus changed from keeping the realm to collecting the more. This seemed to make them happy. at first. As time went on, they became consumed by more, and the realms began to suffer. The machinery began to break. The crops began to die. The animals became ill. Water became tainted. Air putrid. And the keepers also began to suffer. Some were sick. Some were hale. Some were hungry. Some were fat. Some were thirsty. Some were bathed, and some had none, and some had more. And those who had more began to look down on those who had less or none, as though such a thing were possible with reasonable keepers. These realms and these keepers were dying. In the midst of this chaos, a wise keeper remembered the faithful ways of keeping. The wise keeper spoke and mentored about the faithful ways of keeping the realm, healing and feeding and watering and caring for all, as comrades without more, but with fruits for all to share. And the wise keeper reminded them that this was the true way of reasonable and measured happiness, a happiness that could last and would be for all. And this faithful way of keeping would ensure that the mission of keeping their realm, the keeping of others, could be sustained. The keepers of the realm were able to overcome the forces of more and return to the faithful ways of keeping. They learned to let go of any destructive thoughts of more and to embrace the mission of keeping in realms and keeping each other, and all the keepers once again lived and worked together in happiness and harmony. Do not be swayed from the faithful ways of the keeping, or the keeping. Strive to be a wise keeper. I'd say there's definitely some truth in that. If you are with a unified people with a shared goal, and you're all working towards that shared goal, you can definitely strive to come together and do all sorts of great, wondrous things that you could never do on your own. There's also ways to get more without creating less, and there's also ways to get more without taking from others, because we're people and we're smart. So, whether what we read is propaganda or not kind of depends on this world that we live in. This could be a world where they've figured that out and it actually works. But we could also be in a world where truth is reality, and we're going to find out. In either case, I really like the name of it more. Lives and worlds are destroyed through seeking more. More. There is such a thing as being satisfied. Okay. Where did we come from? This says Curryvale. The problem is... No, that's not a problem. Oh, I just understood something. This place is the place that's called whatever that was. I want to go... Oh, the Swan. This place is the Swan. I think I was at Curryvale. Curryvale Bluff. I think so. And theoretically, you can kind of change your destination at some point. Well, let's head back. I think this also serves as a sort of hidden loading screen. So for the books, we're going to encounter a lot of books. And I want to read most of what we find because a lot of the information there is kind of the game, the story. So we'll just want to take our time with that. At the same time, I'm going to try to skim and just kind of say the main key points. And that way we can not just have a whole video of reading. Just exploring the environment here. So we find ourselves in another situation where we can't get across. But we have a system of teleportation. Which, boy, don't I wish I explored up ahead first to realize it was a dead end. Because now I know. We need to go to the Swan. And from the Swan, we can go to some other place. Let's try Juleston. Juleston Reservoir. No other locations on this selection. Energize. And let's go. What I don't know, but we'll find out, is if I'm in an area that's just a different place of the same planet, or if I'm in a whole nother world. And looking at those tracks, I feel like I'm in a whole nother world. If this is anything like Myst, Riven, any of those, where the books would basically be other worlds, I think that symbology looks the same. And this might be similar to that. And so we want to pay close attention to the architecture and the design and the thought. Like there's a banner with an eye. Here's a banner with the circles. And so maybe this is kind of the hub. These are probably signposts. But everything about this looks just so beautiful. The sound, the weather, the nature, the rocks. Here's another teleportation-like place. We really gotta explore the environment. This looks like a house similar to the one we came from. Let's raise it. No? Can we lower it? Yeah, it's a bunker. It's saying no. Saying we can't raise or lower it. It's stuck. These lights are blinking red. That could indicate there's an error. At the beginning, we have to make a lot of assumptions. But we do know red means problem. We do know that that bunker should raise and lower. And we know blinking lights usually are to indicate some sort of failure. And those lights go all the way to that facility. So, as our first order of business, we're going to try to go check this out. That looks like a stairwell that goes down and then into the water. So maybe this is for boats. Is there an inside there? No. There's another path into this facility. And that shadow is not a creature in the water, it's a flag. It's a flag waving. This could be some sort of treatment facility. The banners with eyes. What does that mean? We're watching you. Too far away? Too far away. Conticated power.
We have all that is required.
1 of 3. Main gate control. You know, I use that word every day. Conticate in Excel. Mixing different data elements together. But I really do not know how you're supposed to say it. Oh, here's the thing. Reservoir pump. On. I didn't seem to do anything. Maybe I turn it on and then disconnect? No, it's flashing red. It is also not working. Oh, look at those emerald green hills. Let's keep exploring. Oh, here's something that looks interesting. Oh, wow. That looks like a puzzle. At least from up here. That needs to be solved. Mm-hmm. No power. Fine. Can't reach those. Oh, gosh. I want to ride the marble track. I want to ride the marble track. Alright, everything's got no power. This looks like the facility that I need to get into to give something power. Well, we got 2 little connector doozles up here, but I'm not smart enough to do anything. And left or right and tab does nothing. This machine is... That's called escape. This machine is not working. I think there were a couple other paths this way, so let's take a quick look before we call this a session. Let's see if I missed something. No, I think this is just where I came from. Now it's possible that I don't need to be here yet. It does seem odd that there'd be one specific order of areas you're supposed to go to, but it's possible. No, I think I haven't been here. Oh, here. We're down here. We're down here where I said that looks like a puzzle. Let's go over the cliff so we can look down. That definitely looks like a puzzle. Wait a minute. Would that be a good cliffhanger? That definitely looks like a puzzle.